Hello guys, and welcome to my studio, Ben Fresh Art. Today I'm going to show you how to draw the isometric block in 2-point perspective. The materials we're going to use for this sketch are a paper A4 to be specific, your erasers, a sharpener, a pencil, and pen. This here are the basics for drawing your 2-point perspective. We have our eye level, EL, your 2 vanishing points, and your center line. With these, we are good to go. Since it's an isometric block, it should be extracted from a regular solid shape. Now, in our own case, this is a rectangular solid shape. That is a cuboid, as we all know, that was extracted from. So let me draw just bring us back to how the isometric block was formed. Then I will now show you where the ED construction lines, which is our center line, was placed, so that will give us the guide on how we are going to get the image in 2-point perspective. So let's start. Remember, your isometric view is in 30 degrees, and you have the 30-degree set square. That's what we're using here. But I'm using my hand just to make it fast. So I'm going to sketch out the whole image. I'm going to speed things up. So you can see the center line already, where the 2 points and that point where your right hand side and your left hand side meets. That's the center line, and that's the line that we use as reference when we are mapping out your isometric block. The green represents the top of the isometric object, the black represents the middle, and the red represents the bottom. So with these, we are ready to go. And this is our center line where my pencil is pointing. So now let's start. First, you draw your eye level, EL. You can use ruler for more precision. I'm going to use my hand, so I'll be very fast. Then we indicate our vanishing points. Since it's 2-point perspective, you indicate your 2 vanishing points. Then the most important thing, your center line. This will be our guide. So now let's start. We have to set our boundaries. So I'm starting with the bottom. I just make a dot anywhere. So I make my dots below my eye level. So I'm going to extend it to my right hand side vanishing point and my left hand vanishing point. So remember, the center line, you extend it to both your right hand side and your left hand side vanishing points. Very essential, always extend it. Like I said, you can use your ruler for more precision. Since I've established the bottom boundary, so let's go to looking at the isometric block. So I want to get that point above it, so we just place a marker. So any point just above, slightly above it. So we extend it both to the left and the right hand vanishing points. Okay, we're making progress. So let's go back to our question. Now let's determine these 2 points. So yeah, you're going to go to your left hand side, since basically looking at our isometric block is on our left hand side. So now your distance between the first dot and the second one I'm placing right now should be smaller. As it gets closer towards the vanishing point, the distance between them should be smaller. In the measurements of the isometric block, they were 12, 12, 12, making it 36. So, but in this perspective, when I'm doing perspective, distortion occurs. So the ones closer to the vanishing points, tend to have smaller heights and shorter distances between them. So ensure that you make your distance closer to each other, because it's tending towards the vanishing point. So now we extend it. That last one, extend it to the bottom, because that is a boundary. And also, if you increase the vanishing point, like I said earlier, the height will be higher than this. If you increase vanishing point to that point, the height will be higher than that. So, so now let's go to determine the other boundaries for the right hand side. Now observe the way I'm placing my dots. If you look at the left hand side, it's closer to the center line, but on the right hand side where we are working on, it's kind of farther away from the center line, because of the way the isometric block is. So I've gotten the last boundary. So now let's get the inner side, those two lines inside. And to get them is very easy. Your right hand side and your left hand side. Now this is where you have to pay close attention. Every object, like every point that is floating on your left hand side, always goes towards your right hand vanishing point, like what we are doing now. And any points floating on your right hand side will go to your left vanishing point. So take note. But your center line is the only one that goes to both the left and the right vanishing points. Or just see left to right hand vanishing point and right to left hand vanishing point. So now let's continue. So I've gotten where they intersect. So that way we are going to mark out that point. That will be the point that we're going to extend. So let's get and extend. Let's complete the bottom. So your left, remember your left hand side goes to your right hand vanishing point. So let's extend our line. Next step will be determining the middle boundary. So since we are done with the bottom, let's just use our pen to mark it out. So we are done with the bottom. Now you can see I left that space, indicating that those construction lines are not meant to show. All right, that's why I left that space. So now let's determine that point, our middle boundary. So I just give an intelligent guess, but let the point be a bit higher than the one we gave for the bottom. So this is our center line. As I said, the center line goes towards your left and your right hand vanishing points. So now let's get the point above it. So you are going to just guess again, but let the point you are giving above it be almost the same with the distance between your bottom. Then you extend it to the left and the right hand vanishing points. You might be wondering where to place your dots. Just look at the isometric objects in front of you, then just give intelligent guesses based on how they look like. So now let's get back to our drawing. So remember, our left hand side goes towards our right vanishing point. So we are trying to complete the top, the middle rather. The middle, we want to complete the middle. So as you can see, we're trying to complete the middle, ensuring that every points are secured. Okay, now looking at your objects, based on our eye level of this, we have actually moved this object. Then we're going to actually see inner lines inside because of our eye level. The way we placed it, it's in the middle. Our eye level is at the middle of the isometric block, so we're going to see some inner details inside it. So mark out that point there. Are you looking at it? So the one at the back, we cannot extend it because it's not going to be visible. So the one in front, that one, yeah, are you seeing it? It's going to be visible because the object is directly, we are looking at the object from the middle, like our eye level. So we extend our left hand side towards our right vanishing point. Then remember that point at the back, yes, this point also, we will now extend it to, you may look at the points there from our isometric object. There's a line going inside, just like the one going at the bottom, because we're looking at it. If you try to look at it from on top, you actually see what I'm trying to talk about. So our right hand side goes towards our left vanishing points. So let's just taking it a bit so you see what I'm talking about. So if you view the object that way, you will actually see the inner part. So we're done with the middle. Let's just mark it out. So we are done with the middle parts. Now let's focus on the top. So you see the distance that was given. Now we want to get this part. This is very essential. Yeah, this is where your center line is very, very important. So now this center line here, if you look at it, the object was like it was cut out from the rectangle to get that part inside. So let me just lighten up the construction line a bit so you know what I'm talking about. So this is it. There is a construction line. I use pencil for it, so I just know the difference. So now let's mark out that point. So now when you're marking out this point, you can take it as high as you want, but let me take my own this point there. It says here you can give intelligent guesses on where it will be because distortion will occur, so your object will not actually look like the one that is going to be there in the isometric block. So remember your center lines, left and right vanishing points must be met. So you extend everything to your left and right vanishing points. So now let's mark out that point. Now in our isometric block, their measurement 12, 12, 12, making it 36. So that part is 12, and that little space meant forward is 18. So this is your 12, but we'll go a bit further to map out your 18, that side. So then you now extend this down to that base there. You see it. This is the point you are going to stop here. So you map it down to that point there. Then so you are going to give your boundary, the top boundary. Are you looking at those 2 points? That's from there to the top. So you extend your line. Remember, left hand side, always go towards your right vanishing point. So let's just outline everything first so we can sit properly. I'm nearly done with the top, so extend it. Remember, I see the way it went that way. That means I'm not going to see that part, because when you are viewing it, it's not all parts you're going to see. As I said earlier, your isometric block is different from the perspective where we are drawing, so it's not going to be the same thing. Depends on your eye level. If I place the image above, below, or at the middle. So I think we are nearly done. Just to mark out our boundaries, the top boundary with our pen. So we're done. Just look at your isometric block, then the result of your perspective drawing. So if you use ruler to be more precise. So now, as I said earlier, if you are not still comfortable with the height at the top, just increase it from the center line, then you drag it to your left hand side and your right hand side to get your boundary. Then you extend to that point. So the higher the points, the higher the top height. So you can see it. If you want to make that side a bit higher, so let's just use pencil taking that one out. So then we are done. Just your choice to make it higher. And yes, your eye level, this is it. Remember when we started, take notes. This is your eye level. So it depends on your eye level. If the object is below, above, it will have a different distortion and different, the view will be different. So I hope this video was helpful. Yes, you can drop a like and subscribe. Thank you.